Welcome in. We are going to be talking about Jerma. Jerma enjoys his aloneness. Aloneness doesn't necessarily equate to lonely. Jerma is naturally a hermit, naturally doing what it is he does best. He does that out of the drama of life and the peace and quiet, and he's waiting to be called out. Well, not necessarily because he's a hermit, but he is going to be called out because he is great at something. And he wants to make sure that he is saying yes to the proper things and listening to his gut reaction of uh-huh or uh-uh. Because his body is going to tell him what is correct for him. He has this vortex like energy, this magnetic type of energy where people, places, things, and experiences are just attracted to him, coming towards him in life. And just because he has an experience coming at him, it doesn't mean he needs to jump on it first thought. It is for him to listen to that uh-huh or uh-uh to see if it is correct for him, because he is going to spend a lot of time understanding his naturally attuned schedule. You can't force the timing, and if people are trying to force the timing onto Jerma, or if he's trying to force the timing onto his own self, he's going to have a whole bunch of frustration. He is here to repeat the pattern over and over and over. He has this love of humanity. He has this love and direction about him that is so solidified within him. But waiting is really important to him. He has this creative self expression. This creative self expression in his aloneness is probably where he gets his best creative self expression in the direction of self. A lot of people see his identity, and it might be harder for him to see his own identity. He's going to be in his own rhythm and flow, his own patterns, his own extremes, his highs and lows. And if you were going to talk about his purpose in life, it's really going to be talking about this determined being who has these extremes behavior of self, who's an innocent being. He's here to be a listener, and being a listener, you can't always just hoard all the things that you listen to. You gotta, externalize that at some point. And being the hermit, he knows, even though he's the hermit and he's not too peoply, that he really needs his network because that's where his opportunities are. That's who in which he'll be called out by is his network. And he understands that that's where he will get those opportunities. So he has to be peoply, although it might not be something that he wants to do. So it's really important for Jerma to understand if he has the energy for this fixed pattern or not. Now, I believe he has recently announced that he no longer has energy for the fixed pattern of streaming. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to exit this whole particular scenario of the content creation world, but he's responded to I can't keep this extreme up anymore. This behavior of self just doesn't work for me anymore. These structures really just aren't doing it. He is alert to the fact that the risks that he's taking are worth the things and his time and his energy to get that sexual movement. And just because I say sexual, it just means beginning of things, sexuality. He is really into starting things, so maybe that's why he wanted to end something so he could start something new, because starting something new is like really in his energy. But he needs to be aware of the fact that he can only do one thing at a time. 1 hour for this thing, 2 hour for that thing, 6 hours for the next thing, sleep, whatever. If he does all of them at the same time, it'll just be a watered down version of what he expected it to be, or what others expected or are experiencing it to be. So, one thing at a time, one foot in front of the other. And although your head is spiraling with unending thoughts, it's okay, one thing at a time. You may not know where to land those ideas yet. And how do you land those ideas? You just listen to your energy. Yes, ooh, ah. If it's not okay for you, then ugh. But it's okay. You need to contract your ideas down to one step at a time. And this inaction that you have about yourself will be able to allow the time for new beginnings to happen. And your energy saying, will be the ones that are represented by you for allowing the proper risks to be taken. Having this innocent view of life, or being in an innocent type situation, you are a person who does have this creative self expression, who can rationalize. Being this rational being, you are this person who has this direction of self. And when you allow that to be your inspiration, that's when you will be inspirational to the collective, when you repeat that pattern over and over. But once again, it requires inaction in your natural state of aloneness. Let's talk about something different. You have a particular way in which your energy receives things in life. And once again, it's not for you to jump on the first thing that comes to you, because we've been conditioned to take the first opportunity that comes to us, because there may not be another opportunity. But your own rhythm and flow, your own rhythm patterns will send you in the proper direction. You have this really, really fixed identity, love, and direction about you. And people really do see that in you. You may not see that about yourself, but you really have this about you. You might smell who's real and who's fake. And this alertness will help you with this risk taking that you want to do. If your body's like, I don't trust that person, then trust your energy. It's telling you something. Trust in the time away from people. Okay, Jerma, you might create this mask. A mask that a person, well, the fact that your name is Jerma, you know, that's already a mask, and you created an identity behind that mask, and then your content is your mask. And well, my mask is, I don't like going to female related parties, because I don't like being asked the questions. Another part of this is avoiding confrontation and truth. I avoid confrontation and truth at those female based parties. When are you going to get married? When are you going to have a baby? Anyways, the mask thing, let's go back to that. I put on a mask when I was younger so I wouldn't get bullied. Oh, you don't know this person. You don't know the real me, so you're not really bullying the real me. So another thing that he might do is try to prove. Try to prove what? Try to prove that he is a person who can support or doesn't need the support. So supporting in a time where it's no longer necessary, things that no longer serve you, people, places, things, and experiences that might make you become frustrated. What needs to change? Also, regarding needing to prove, maybe you're like, oh, I don't need the support system anymore. I'm going to let go of it. And then you let go of something that was actually beneficial to you, and then you end up resenting it. You might feel the need to prove to go harder, better, faster, stronger, and nobody's asked you to. You have nothing to prove to yourself or your step counter or your push-ups that you need to do during the day. You have nothing to prove. Not to the people who raised you, not to your friends, not to your community. And I'm glad you finally have come to that awareness that you are enough, that you are deserving. Because here, just a chemical reaction is to not feel like you're enough or not deserving or not lovable, but you are. It's this chemical reaction. So when you're feeling that way, just know that you are lovable, you are deserving. You are perfect the way you are. You don't have anything to prove. Maybe he feels like he needs to prove how he can be seen. And there's many different ways that he can be seen. He's very, very, very good at marketing on how to be seen. And he's also very, very good at marketing on how to be inspirational. But if he's in his not self, if he'll find himself frustrated, then he'll find himself answering questions that don't matter. Maybe he's going to be looking at chat and answering that one guy's questions that's going to one guy him. Maybe he's that guy that will find the answers if there's a question in the room. Before Google, there was Joogle. Jerma, Google. Sorry, my bad. But maybe he feels like he has to prove that he is inspirational, prove that he does know, prove that he does know what he knows. But the awareness here is that you only know what you know, and that is enough, and that is okay. So you don't have to go above and beyond when you're not asked to. Be inspirational, to be that person who knows, to be that person who knows how to put themselves out there. It's okay. Your energy is going to tell you what's correct for you. What's going to make you frustrated in life is trying to prove yourself, holding on to things that no longer serve you, answering questions that don't matter, trying to learn things that also have absolutely nothing to do with you, or trying to be seen in ways that don't align with who you are as a person at all. So, the type of environment that Jerma needs to be in order to be successful is that in which one can be a clarion. Something is given, something is taken, something is caught, something is taken, something is received, something is given. Did I say given like a million times? So it's all about the giving and receiving. It's not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing, but it's about being seen. Also, we are going to talk about the type of environment, the type of people that you need in order to be successful. The type of environment that you need in order to be successful is that of people who will allow you to fumble, allow you to see the different types of holes in the system, allow you to make mistakes, and instead of being yelled at, being praised and being say, yo, look what you found. What can we do to fix it? So that's the type of environment. He needs a space. Of course, because he enjoys his aloneness and he is a hermit. Well, that's all we have for today regarding this reading. We were reading Germa, and we will continue more readings later in the future. And I really hope you enjoyed what you saw.